It's no secret that the Los Angeles Lakers have been one of the most disappointing teams in the entire NBA this season. Between the somewhat failed Russell Westbrook trade to a variety of other things with this roster, this Lakers team has been plagued with issues so far this season. Despite this, there have been some good things going for this team lately. In particular, the team going on a 5-game win streak with LeBron now playing the center position. But what if I told you that LeBron willing this team to wins at the 5 has officially exposed one of the Lakers' biggest issues, revolving around their other superstar Anthony Davis? Today we have to talk Los Angeles Lakers, in particular taking a deep dive into why LeBron James is playing the center, what the impact of this will be for LeBron and the Lakers as a whole, and the big issue that this new lineup exposed that no one is talking about. But before we get into that, we are trying to get to 10,000 subscribers before my birthday in February. So if you enjoy the content, it would be absolutely clutch if you subscribed if you're new and join the Woods crew. But with all that being said, let's talk Los Angeles Lakers and LeBron James. Like I said, to start the season off, the Los Angeles Lakers were far from what fans and even analysts expected. Between LeBron and Anthony Davis missing time with injury, to Russell Westbrook not being able to put the team on his back like we've seen in the past, this caused the Lakers to plummet in the Western Conference standings with a record of 21-19. Now, is this terrible by any means? Not at all. But for a team like the Lakers that had such high expectations, they have been, well, to put it simply, disappointing. There are a lot of things to point out when discussing the issues for this team, but I don't want to do that just quite yet. I want to talk about the one good thing that's been going on for the Lakers. You guessed it, I'm talking about their new lineup with LeBron James at the center position for this team. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys when I say that I did not think this LeBron center thing would go anywhere. And when I say anywhere, I mean anywhere. After all, we have rarely seen LeBron play at the big man position, and with the somewhat lack of a shot creation around him, it seemed like this crazy lineup by Frank Vogel was bound to fail. Yet, here we are. At the time of this recording, the Lakers are currently 5-0 since implementing the LeBron James center lineup. And some are even going as far as saying that it could save the Lakers' entire season. If you have watched the Lakers in the past couple of weeks like I have, you would probably agree with this take, because LeBron James has been going off at the 5, and the stats don't lie. So far this season, LeBron James has logged over 35% of his minutes at the center position. His previous highest percent, you might ask? Well, the 2018-19 season was the next highest at a mere 3%. But what exactly is the impact of LeBron at the center band for the Lakers? Well, the Lakers' offense has opened up in a big way because of this lineup, mostly in the form of the pick and roll. In the past, when LeBron was at the guard, he always had the ball in his hands and was never the guy setting the screens and rolling. But now, it's a whole different story. Not only is LeBron performing the pick and roll at an elite rate, but at this point, it's literally changing the gravity of the Lakers' offense. What I mean by that is every single time LeBron James rolls or gets open on a cut to the paint, offenses collapse, leaving perimeter players wide open. Now, sometimes these are players like Russell Westbrook left open who aren't shooters, but since becoming the center, LeBron has given sharpshooters like Malik Monk and Carmelo Anthony a lot more easy buckets from beyond the arc. That's not where it ends though, because LeBron isn't just creating opportunities in the pick and roll, he's literally dominating as a big man. This season, there are only 5 players in the entire NBA averaging more points in the paint than LeBron James, those players being Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic, Jonas Valanciunas, Kristaps Porzingis, and Anthony Davis. See anything in common with these players? Well, to start, all of these players are 7-footers that live in the post for a good amount of the game, so how is it that LeBron James is putting up similar stats to all these elite big men? To put it simply, LeBron has shown the ability to put in work in the paint despite lacking height of the other big men. Due to his insane 250-pound build, LeBron has been able to bully other bigs in the paint with ease so far. Not to mention, mismatches often occur on the pick and roll that puts LeBron against a guard in the paint, and well, that's just game over. It's not like Bron is chucking up a bunch of shots in the paint to get these stats either, because he has been one of the most efficient players in the league from all levels of the floor, especially being that he's made over 50% of his shots from the mid-range. The impact for this team has been very clear. The Lakers, despite being undersized on defense, are now one of the best offensive teams in the entire league when LeBron's on the floor without another big man. In fact, the Lakers literally have the best offensive rating in the entire NBA when LeBron James is on the court at the center without players like Dwight Howard, DeAndre Jordan, and Anthony Davis. But we get it, LeBron has been balling out at the center so far. But what is the issue that is exposed with AD? After thinking about how impactful LeBron has been at the big man position, it took me back to the Lakers' issues that have been talked about in the past but never got resolved revolving around Anthony Davis. We all know by now that Anthony Davis is one of the best big men in the league. Well, that is when he wants to be. What I mean by that is since joining the Los Angeles Lakers to pursue winning with LeBron James, it has been a constant, and when I say constant, I mean constant, battle to get Anthony Davis to play the center position. If you're a Lakers fan, you know exactly what I'm talking about. because every single year going into the season, we hear Frank Vogel say the exact same thing. Expect Anthony Davis to play at the center for the most part this year. Then everyone proceeds to get hyped because this is where he plays best, and we're all disappointed on opening night once again when the Lakers have DeAndre Jordan starting at the center position. If Anthony Davis was willing to play at the 5, he would be playing at the 5 because that's where the Lakers are literally at their best. Somehow though, AD always ends up going back to playing the 4 with literally no explanation, which to me and many others makes absolutely no sense because the LA Lakers won their championship with Anthony Davis at the center position. Now for most people, this is where the debate ends because, well, there isn't much more to talk about. But I believe this is just the beginning of the biggest issue that could end up causing the Lakers to waste LeBron James's late prime. And if you didn't know, I'm talking about Anthony Davis's injury situation. With AD on the sideline once again, I felt like I needed to address these issues, especially with what we've been seeing out of LeBron lately. Like I said, the man has been bullying other bigs down low, and not only looking healthy, but absolutely dominant in the paint. Most of you know by now that playing the center position is the most physical part of basketball. Between protecting the rim and attacking the glass, big men often get hit and shoved a lot, which is why I believe AD is so against playing the 5. Don't get me wrong here, Davis is already down low a lot even when he plays the 4, but matchups wise, avoiding dominant big men like Joel Embiid and Nikola Jokic might just be AD trying to avoid injury. Even though this is the case, Anthony Davis is still getting injured playing the 4, and I'm not going to blame last year's embarrassment on him entirely, but at this point, it seems like the man is made out of glass. And well, this should really concern Lakers fans. Not only that, but with LeBron's versatility at the 5, it has really opened up my eyes regarding the lack of versatility that Anthony Davis has had this season as well. Davis has basically been at his career worst in 3-point shooting, which has caused the Lakers' spacing to get even worse, and for him to be in the paint a lot more, which ultimately led to his injury. Don't get me wrong here, I'm not trying to shred apart Anthony Davis, but the fact is, if the man isn't healthy and willing to play at the center, the Lakers' chances at a championship go down a lot. And even though I won't tear AD apart, for fun, I wanted to react to what analyst Colin Cowherd had to say about Anthony Davis being the problem, and let me just say, you'll want to watch this whole thing, because this man's takes are very interesting to say the least.
What is going on, boys? Welcome to the reaction studio. I'm going to start incorporating this into more videos if you guys enjoy it, or maybe just making videos by themselves of this type of reaction. So if you do enjoy, let me know by leaving a like and comment below right now, please. It'll help me decide on whether I want to keep doing this, but I don't want to delay this clip any further, so let's just get right into Colin Cowherd.
Start with the Lakers. These are big brands. Historically, Celtics,
This is what
Lakers,
he has to say
biggest
about AD.
two. This is the Yankees, Dodgers, Red Sox, whatever, Cubs, Cardinals of baseball. It's the Notre Dame and Alabama, Ohio State of football. And the Lakers have a little bit of a problem. And Charles Barkley, as LeBron turns 37 in a couple of weeks, knows the problem. It's AD. In baseball, it's different. If you're a pitcher and you have great stuff, you're an ace, regardless of your personality.
He's already bringing baseball into it. He's bringing another sport into the thing already. Guys, I'm not gonna lie, I watched this before I reacted to it just a little bit. I actually saw it in a Beast Holes video, and I knew I had to put this in this video. Literally, you can't talk about baseball and basketball. It's not even close.
You are an ace. You take the ball, you control the pace of the game, you control virtually everything. But it's different in basketball. Teammates, passing, play both ends of the floor. So many things that matter. In basketball, a general manager told me this years ago. It's not about getting a franchise player, it's about getting the right one.
I mean, there's franchise players that are the right ones for any team, you know what I'm saying? LeBron James is one of them.
Talent alone doesn't make you a one. The Knicks thought Carmelo Anthony was, and he wasn't.
Carmelo Anthony was a one for them. He wasn't like anything crazy, but he was a one. Come on, man. He was a one. Don't play. You remember Melo in the Garden. He was a one.
He wasn't going to commit physically on the defensive end. He wasn't a grinder, and that's Anthony Davis. He's not physically dependable. He doesn't elevate others. He's just really talented. And right now in the NBA, we have three great players, Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, and Anthony Davis, and they are ones in talent, but twos.
Okay, we gotta stop here because this is where things just get, like, this goes too far. Anthony Davis is not physically dependable, that's correct. He can provide for his teammates, but oftentimes he doesn't. But saying that Kawhi and James Harden are in those same conversations is actually kind of crazy, because Kawhi literally won a championship in 2019. James Harden he should have won that championship with the Rockets when he had Chris Paul. Literally, this is insane. Like, oh man.
You cannot depend on Kawhi. He doesn't elevate others. He's not physically available. Anthony Davis is...
He has had injury issues, but when he's on the floor, you can depend on him. He is a number one, clear cut. That is ridiculous.
Not a grinder. Your best player, Tim Duncan, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Magic Johnson, have to be your hardest workers, your most focused basketball players.
Why is he even talking about this? Why is he saying that AD needs to be number one? LeBron is literally the number one of this team until he retires. Well, maybe not, but they were looking for us. They were looking for a sidekick. They were looking for a second star. I don't know why he's saying they were looking for a one.
They have to be willful and driven and elevate others. Anthony Davis is just talented. Harden's just talented. Kawhi's just talented. You got to have some dog and some alpha. You got to want to be the first into the weight room and the last out.
Harden not so much.
And this is the Lakers' issue, because they thought they were getting a one. For years and years, we always blame the Pelicans. It's the Pelicans. We've been here 3 years. Last year, he showed up out of shape. LeBron was ticked off. Frank Vogel. Go ahead and blame Frank Vogel. Frank Vogel has a history of elevating bigs. Anthony Davis should be a top 3 big. He wants to shoot jumpers, and he shoot like 19% this year.
That's out of pocket. We all know AD can stretch the floor with his jumper. This is literally the modern day NBA. Kat, Joel Embiid, Jokic, all the bigs are shooting threes now. You can't just single-handedly say that AD's playing like trash because he's shooting 19%. He's off this year, but he'll turn it around. He can turn up in the playoffs. We saw it in the 2020 bubble. We saw him turn up. You can't just target him either when you're saying this about all the bigs. Like I said the issues I had with AD in the video. Like before this is ridiculous, man.
Don't confuse it. Basketball's culture is interesting. It doesn't do a great job of developing leaders. Basketball's culture does a great job of developing basketball players. They find them early. There's a lot of people that develop them, care about them, work on them, and get them paid early. Basketball's culture does a great job to develop players. I would always argue football's culture does a better job of developing leaders. You're in college for multiple years, 4 and 5 years. You watch a culture at Alabama, at Georgia, at Oklahoma. Remember, Michael Jordan was not born a leader.
Yeah, but he was born talented, and that's all they needed. This is literally, he's contradicting himself.
But he had strong dad, Dean Smith, Phil Jackson, plus David Stern. His relationship with David Stern was very close. Then he had a great agent. So Michael had some innate alpha, but he saw what great leadership was because he went to college for multiple years and had a relationship with Phil for multiple years. Michael was a much better leader at the second part of his career than he was initially. He wasn't a great leader when he got to the NBA.
But he still dominated and was the clear number one. You don't have to be a leader to be a number one and lead your team to championships. That's why this man is literally making a point that it doesn't even matter.
Michael was a great player, but he was selfish and hard to get along with. And then he got Phil Jackson, who tapped into Michael's innate ability to lead.
Drop that book.
And it was magic, the best basketball player and team we've ever seen. But the Lakers have an issue. They thought they were getting a 1, and what they're getting is a 2. And now LeBron's 37 years old. So the Lakers have to find their next Kobe. Kobe's a 1. They got to find their next...
I think anyone in the entire NBA could have told us that the Lakers need to find their next Kobe. That seems like the obvious solution. They don't have any picks. They don't have anything to trade. They have a roster full of veterans, and this is what he's saying. They need to find this guy. Guess what? They can't. They have AD. What are they going to do about it now? Yeah, I think any team is looking to find their next Kobe. This is actually hilarious.
It's Magic. Magic's a 1. Shaq was a 1. Shaq was rough on... Shaq would get in arguments with Kobe. And that's why the Lakers were so unique. Shaq and Kobe were both 1s. I covered Scottie Pippen. Scotty's a 2. Kevin McHale's a 2. It's not just physicality. It's not just your talent. And so, Shaq, everybody wants to fire Vogel now. Vogel loves bigs. He's got a big. Giannis loves being a big.
Vogel's elevating LeBron at the big. That's what we talked about in today's video, man. I think that's enough of Colin, sorry. I don't even know, I can't even remember the name because these takes are so off, man. But if you want to see more of these reaction bits, I might even do full videos with them, so let me know if you enjoyed this below. I kind of like flaming these analysts, so if you want to see me do more of that. And if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'm just going to brush over the fact that this is the first face reveal on the channel. But see you later. Peace.